Welcome to Fast Language Mastery and Serbian language course. In this lesson we are learning Serbian verb aspect and Serbian reflexive verbs. Let's start right away. So there are two aspects of Serbian verbs. We previously considered only imperfective, even though I used few times perfective verbs, but I didn't explain it. I didn't go further into it. But now we are going to learn it, and you will understand what it means and what it's all about after that. So, as I said before, there are imperfective and perfective aspects of verbs. We use imperfective verbs when we talk about an action which is in process, which is ongoing or repeated. And we use perfective verbs when we talk about an action which is finished or which has a result. And perfective verbs, they differ from imperfective verbs by the prefixes, and more rarely sometimes they have a different form but similar. And if you are not a native speaker, it is almost impossible to determine which prefix to use to make perfective verb out of imperfective. That's why I recommend to learn both of them when you learn new verbs. For example, I recommend you to use ChatGPT for learning new verbs, so that you ask ChatGPT to type you a verb in both imperfective and perfective variant. That's why you will know which prefix to use. You will just memorize two of them at the same time. And also, what's important to notice that perfective verbs are used only in past and future tense, and there is no special rules about conjugation of them. We use the same rules of conjugation in future and past as for perfective verbs as we use for imperfective verbs, for all verbs. Okay, and let's see a few of these verbs and how all verbs have perfective and imperfective form, or 99% of words, maybe with few exceptions which are not important here, but now keep it in mind that all verbs have imperfective and perfective form. So here are the few of them. Čuvati, sačuvati, it means to save. Kuvati, skuvati, to cook. Raditi or uraditi, to do or to work. Kupovati, kupiti, to buy. This is example which of a perfective form which doesn't have prefix but has slightly different form. Kupovati, kupiti, okay, to buy. Zvati, pozvati, to call. Pisati, napisati, to write. Piti, popiti, to drink. Staviti, postaviti, to put. Igrati, odigrati, to play. By the way, regarding the verb kupiti or kupovati, to buy, remember that when in the first lesson about conjugation in the present tense, we learned the category of verbs which has the ending ovati, and now see how the perfective form of this works. So basically we just remove ovati and replace it with iti. That's why kupovati becomes kupiti. We can say the same about istraživati, ivati also in this category, so istraživati, istražiti, and try it with other verbs with ovati, but it's not so important now. Just memorize that this verb has slightly different form, not prefix. So you can see here imperfective verbs and perfective verbs, and you can see they have different prefixes or even sometimes different form. That's why you need to learn both verbs at the same time in order to know which prefix to use to make it perfective. When we conjugate perfective verbs, we conjugate them in past and future tense, but also there is a way when we conjugate it in present tense using the same conjugation rules as for any other verb in present tense. We can do it too, but in this case it will be when we conjugate perfective verb in present tense, it will mean that we talk about a near future, very near future, okay? And here you can see it in this slide. Very near future, it is when we conjugate perfective verbs in present tense. And for example, here we say ja sačuvam, it is in perfective variant, it means I'm going to save. Ti skuvaš, you are going to cook. on uradi. He is on uradi. He is going to cook or do, no, not cook. He is going to complete or to do work. It's more correct translation here. Ona kupi, she is going to buy. Mi pozovimo, we are going to call. Vi napišete, you are going to write. Oni popiju, they are going to drink. In this case, when we use this very near future tense, we usually use it with some clarifications. For example, we say, for example, here are a few examples. I will explain it based on these examples. Ti skuvaš to brzo I onda krećemo. You are going to cook it fast and then we move. So you can see there is clarification that brzo, which means fast or quickly, and then we move. It means that ti skuvaš to brzo I onda mi krećemo. It means that you are talking about very near future, which is like next moment, like you're doing it quickly and then we move. Or like oprećemo auto brzo I stižemo. We are gonna wash the car quickly and arrive, and then we arrive, and then we arrive. It would be more correct to translate. It's just how locals, how Serbians say this. Opraćemo auto brzo I stižemo. We are gonna wash the car quickly and then arrive. Yeah, this is how local Serbians say this. It's not really literal translation, but I hope you understand. Kada popijemo kafu, počnemo da radimo. When we finish to drink coffee, we start to work. Kada popijemo kafu, počnemo da radimo. As you can see here, we conjugate it in present tense, but we mean it always about near future, and always we follow it by some clarifications. So that's why in this here in the example when we say on uradi, ona kupi, in this nobody says like that, but with clarifications we say ona kupi to sada I onda mi krećemo. For example, she is buying it now and then she's gonna buy it now and then we move. Something like that. So yeah, here I showed you the row conjugation, yeah, but it's always used with clarification, or like you say it very quickly, like emphasizing, like mi pozovemo vas za minut. Like zovem te za minut, it means I'm gonna call you in a minute. Zovem te za minut, I'm going to call you in a minute. Popijem kafu I zovem te, it means I'm gonna drink a coffee and then call you. Popijem kafu I zovem te, I'm gonna drink coffee or I'm gonna finish to drink coffee and then call you. Yeah, in this case. And yeah, previous slide. So then we also conjugate them perfective verbs in past and future. For example, ja sam sačuvao, I saved, or ja ću sačuvati, I will save. Yeah, hopefully you understand. Let's go to more examples. Šta su oni uradili juče? What have they done yesterday? And šta su oni radili juče? What did they do yesterday? Well, in English language we can't always translate it as it is directly, as it is meant literally, but approximately or very approximately we can. That's why. Šta su oni uradili juče? Here we ask about an action which had a result or which was finished. What have they done yesterday? Not what they were doing, but what they have done yesterday. And then we ask šta su oni radili juče? What did they do yesterday or what they were doing yesterday? Here we talk about ongoing action which is not meant to have any result or to be finished. Šta su oni radili juče? What did they do yesterday or what they were doing yesterday? Then, ćeš kupiti nešto u prodavnici? Will you buy something in the store? Ćeš kupovati nešto u prodavnici? Will you be buying something in the store? So, in first example, ćeš kupiti nešto u prodavnici, we ask about buying something with result, with finished action. And then we ask ćeš kupovati nešto u prodavnici, we just talk about buying something without specifying without specifying finished or unfinished result, just a process of buying something. So, ćeš kupovati nešto u prodavnici, will you be buying something in the store? Here we talk about process of the action, buying something. Next example. Ja sam sačuvao ovaj file. I have saved this file. Я сам чув овий file. I saved this file. In first example, я сам чув овий file. It means I have saved this file. For example, on my computer. And then, я сам чув овий file. It means that I saved this file. But literally, more correctly to translate, I held this file or I was holding this file. Even more correctly, I was keeping this file, for example, on my computer. Yes, чувати also can mean to keep, by the way. Yeah, it would be more correct to translate this as I kept this file or I was keeping this file. Process of action. So, я сам сачу овий file. This is a result of action, which action with result. The file has been saved. And then, я сам чу овий file. The file has been the file has been kept in the process. Not saved, but kept. Yeah. So this is process of action. Then, next example. Koliko novca ćemo trošiti tamo? How much money will we spend there? And koliko novca ćeš da potrošiš za gorivo? How much money will you spend on fuel? In first example, koliko novca ćemo trošiti tamo? We talk about how much money will we spend there. We talk about process of spending money. In the next example, koliko novca ćeš da potrošiš za gorivo? We ask about result, action with result, money being spent with actually being spent. Not just process of spending money, but money being spent for something with result, finished action. How much money will you spend on fuel? Koliko novca ćeš da potrošiš za gorivo? Gorivo means fuel, by the way. Next example. Hajde da gledamo film večeras. Hajde da gledamo film večeras means let's watch a movie at evening. And then, hajde da pogledamo film večeras. Let's watch a movie at evening. The same translation, but in the first variant, hajde da gledamo film večeras, we talk about watching a movie as a process. And hajde da pogledamo film večeras, we talk about watching a movie about action with result. Action which is supposed to be finished. Yeah, these examples are very similar, and usually people say ajde da gledamo or ajde da pogledamo. Usually they don't even differentiate what they mean, but subconsciously, very, very deep subconsciously, linguistically, it means when we say hajde da gledamo film večeras, we talk about process of watching a movie and action in the process, and hajde da pogledamo film večeras, we talk about finished action of in the future about watching a movie. Yeah, by the way, hajde means let's, and this is imperative mood, but we will learn it more about it, how to say let's do this, that, and so on in one of the next lessons. And next topic for today's lesson is the reflexive verbs. In English language, there are no reflexive verbs, but in Serbian, there are. Reflexive verbs mean that the person doing the action is also the one receiving the action. In other words, you do something to yourself. For example, I wash myself. You can say I wash or I can wash myself. In Serbian, I can wash myself. It will be a different form of a verb without verb we don't add myself. We can, but it's not necessary. But we use slightly different. We add a particle. I will show it below. Or we can say he prepares or he prepares himself. It will be also reflexive verb. Yeah, in Serbian, reflexive verbs can also be either perfective or imperfective, everything the same. The only difference is that they use the little particle se after the verb or before. Also can be before, it depends on the conjugation. So, for example, vratiti, to return or to come back. Yeah. Then vratiti se, to return yourself or to come back. Actually, it would be more correct to say to come back as to vratiti se, and vratiti to return something. Yeah, not really correct translation I typed here, but okay. Just remember, vratiti to return, vratiti se, to return yourself or to come back. Čistiti, to clean. Čistiti se, to clean oneself. Zvati, to call. Zvati se, to call oneself. Also, we can say, what's your name, kako se zoveš? It literally means, how do you call yourself? Then, braniti, to protect. Braniti se, to protect oneself. Let's see examples to clarify it even better. Ona se zove Mara. Her name is Mara. And literally it means she calls herself Mara. Я сам се пробудио у 6 сати. I woke up at 6 o'clock. And literally it means that I awoke myself at 6 o'clock. Yeah, here you can see we can put se before the verb in past tense, usually in past tense, yeah. Yeah, in past tense we actually always put se before the verb, yeah. Zašto se žaleš? Why do you complain? Or why are you complaining? Žaliti se means to complain. Ću da se tuširam sada. I will take a shower now. Or literally, I will shower myself now. Nadam se da oni neće smetati nama. I hope that they won't disturb us. Nadati se means to hope. This just memorize this verb. Nadati se, to hope. It doesn't mean to hope oneself. No, just it is stable verb. To hope translated as nadati se, with only reflexive form. Kada se vraćate kući? When you come back home, or when do you come back home? Kada se vraćate kuće, plural by the way. When do you come back home? Vraćati se means to come back. It is imperfective form. Or vratiti se means to come back. It's perfective form. Okay. Moja sestra će se udati za mog prijatelja. My sister will get married to my friend. Udati se means to get married to a man, and oženiti se means to get married to a woman. I will add it to vocabulary to one of the next slides. Yeah, moja sestra će se udati za mog prijatelja. My sister will get married to my friends. Literally, it means that my sister will marry herself to my friend. This is how this works. Knjige štampaju se u tipografijama, or we can also say knjige se štampaju u tipografijama. The books are printed in the typography. Štampati se means to be printed, or to print oneself, but literally we can translate to be printed. Yeah, that's another way to translate reflexive verb, to be done, to be printed, to be something like that. Okay. Zašto ova vrata se ne zatvaraju? Why doesn't this door close? Vrata means door, and zašto ova vrata se ne zatvaraju? Why doesn't this door close? Yeah, by the way, vrata, it is plural form. For some reason in Serbian language, vrata is used in a plural form. That's why we use conjugation for according to this word, plural, so ne zatvaraju. Zašto ova vrata se ne zatvaraju? Why doesn't this door close? Zatvarati se means to close oneself, or to close, to get closed. Yeah, zatvarati se, to close oneself. As you can see in English, sometimes we use just a verb, but in translation in other languages it would be a reflexive form, but in English it is just to close. We don't say why doesn't this door close itself. We say why doesn't this door close. But literally it means why this doesn't door close itself. Then, veš mašina će da se pokvari uskoro. The washing machine will get broken soon. Pokvariti se means to get broken, perfective form. Kvariti se, to get broken, imperfective form. Veš mašina će da se pokvari uskoro. The washing machine will get broken soon. To get broken means, pokvariti se means to get broken. Here we use perfective form because the washing machine we talk about result of this action pokvariti se, of getting broken, with result. Action which is going to be finished is going to have result. Veš mašina će da se pokvari uskoro, in the future tense. The washing machine will get broken soon. Kako to se kaže na srpskom jeziku? How is it said in Serbian language? Kazati se means to be said. Kako to se kaže na srpskom jeziku? How is it said in Serbian language? Kazati se, to be said. And vocabulary. Try to make sentences talk with this vocabulary. So, probuditi se, to wake up. Nadati se, to hope. Oženiti se, to get married to a woman. Udati se, to get married to a man. Tuširati se, to take a shower, or istuširati se, to take shower. Stvarati, stvoriti, to create. Yeah, by the way, this is another example of a perfective form which has slightly different word form but not prefix. Just memorize them. Stvarati, stvoriti, to create. Crtati, nacrtati, to draw. Kupovati, kupiti, to buy. Kvariti se, pokvariti se, to get broken. Here small typo you can see. Kvariti se, then it should be this semicolon, but kvariti se, pokvariti se. This is a small typo, okay? To get broken. Kuća, home. Prodavnica, store. Hrana, food. And especially for you, I created printable worksheets for practicing grammar, improve your vocabulary, practice vocabulary exercises, and many other things. Check them out, the link in the description, and you can download them. You can upload them in a note-taking app, and you can use them on your tablet with a pen, or you can print them out and fill them by your hand. Very helpful for gaining your vocabulary, for practicing grammar with exercises, memorizing words, alphabet, and tracking progress. There are more than 40 worksheets. Totally recommend, and check the link in the description below. Next steps. Conjugate all verbs from this lesson and from all previous lessons in future, past, present tense. For all previous, and also learn perfective forms of all verbs which we learned in previous lessons. If you watched previous lessons, I guess you already took notes by hand. If you did it, or if you didn't do it, I recommend you to do it. Then build sentences with the vocabulary from this lesson and for all previous lessons. You can make hundreds of word combinations and thousands of sentences already. Watch and study the next lessons, which I am about to upload soon, and all previous lessons if you did not consume the content well. And then check out the useful links in the description, especially the worksheets and ebooks. And subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to never miss a new lesson. And I am going to upload more lessons about more languages, not only Serbian. So I'm gonna create tutorials for Russian, Spanish, and other languages soon. So never miss a new video. And follow us, leave your comment, what you think, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.